Coming to you live from New York City. You're watching Astrology Numerology now for Monday, February 25th, 2019. I'm your host. You already know. This is Z Starman, professional astrologer, numerologist, where for the last 11 years here on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, we bring you the latest astrology news and information. As I always say, real astrology, real numerology in real time. If you would like to talk to me, you're living in Manhattan, or if you're watching online on mnn.org, please give me a call. We're going to put the number on the screen. It's not the traditional number. We're in a different studio. That number is 212-757-1483. Let me say it again, 212-757-1483 if you're watching live in Manhattan, or if you're watching the live stream on mnn.org. You can talk to a real professional astrologer numerologist. Now, so let's get started. The sun is now in the sign of Pisces. It's Pisces season. And I want to shout out all the Pisces men and women that we have it on the screen. We have the two fish. The sun entered the sign of Pisces from February 18th to March 20th. That symbol right there we have on the screen, that is the astrological symbol for Pisces. One fish, see the curves represents the two fish, and the line between it represents the two fish tied at the tail. So that is the astrological symbol for Pisces. We got another symbol. We move to the next chroma key picture. What we're going to see now is, and the sun in Pisces, there is the star constellation or star formation that forms the stars of Pisces. And the sun, again, is in the sign of Pisces until March the 20th, marking the first day of spring 2019. There are a lot of things about Pisces. They are the last sign of the zodiac. So this is the end of the astrological new year, so to speak, whereas in a couple of weeks, we're going to start a whole new astrological new year when the sun enters the sign of Aries. Pisces people are some of the most mystical, spiritual, and funny, crazy, kind of unpredictable people you want to meet. My father, the late, great Robert Pinckney Jr. or Robert Pinckney Sr., he is a Pisces. So the sun is in the sign of Pisces right now. So you want to tune into your spiritual side. You want to tune into imagination. Wherever Pisces is in your astrology chart, when it says that you're a Pisces or Aquarius or a Gemini or a Taurus or a Scorpio or Libra, that's only one part of you astrologically speaking. All the other signs are in other places along with the planets, and this makes up the totality of your astrological profile. What you're looking right now is there are all kinds of astrology systems throughout the world, and in Native American astrology, the symbol for Pisces is the wolf. That's the symbol for Pisces. It's the wolf for Native American speakers or people who are into Native American astrology. You're the wolf. Wolves are very cunning, but wolves aren't violent people per se. The nature of the wolf in Native American astrology, they're very loving, they're very kind, they're very in tune to their spiritual surroundings with the moon or with the sun being in the sign of Pisces. So there's all kinds of astrology systems, and over the last couple of years, we've been incorporating what the Native American system is, and the Native American system is the wolf. 212-757-1393 is the number to call if you want to talk astrology with me. Excuse me, I got to give that number out again because we're in a different studio. If we can show them the number on the screen, 212-757-1483, 212-757-1483 is the number to call. Let's talk astrology. Let's talk the numerology. If you're on the Lower East Side, if you're in Harlem, if you're on the Upper West Side, if you're in Inwood, Give me a call right now, 212-757-1393. If you're watching online on www.mnn.org, give me a call right now, 212-757. We got a little technical difficulty going on in the studio, but I want you to keep it locked where it is, because I'm going to talk to you why we are having all these technical difficulties. A lot of technical difficulties that are on the horizon, especially for the month of March, as this is our last show of February 2019. Now, since the name of the show is Astrology Numerology Now, March, since it's on the way, it's a couple of days away, March from a numerology point of view is a number 6 universal month. We take the universal year, which is the number 3, and we add it to the month of March, which is also a 3 because March is the 3rd month of the year. So we got 3 for the universal year, 3 for March itself, and we get the number 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. And if you look at the number 6, I've said this so many times, you look at the number 6, and the 6 sort of kind of reminds you of a pregnant woman. 6 and a pregnant woman is when she's supposed to be, or is most of the time, 99% of the time, she's at the most responsible period of her life. And that's what the number 6 is all about. It's about responsibility. It's about work and service. And especially those of you who are born on the 6th. If your birthday is the 6th of the month, the 15th of the month, because 1 plus 5 is 6, and the 24th of the month, you should do pretty good from a numerology point of view. Let's say if you live on a street that adds up to the number 6. Let's say you live on, let's pick a street in New York, 96th Street. 96th Street, 9 and 6 is 15, 1 and 5 is 6. So a lot of good things should be happening on the horizon. If you got 6 in the birthday, if you're building, let's say if you work at 600, 6 plus 0 equals 6. So it's a good vibration, but the key thing to remember is work and responsibility during a number 6 month. Volunteer your time, help other people out during a number 6 universal month. 212-757-1483. I have to keep reminding myself to say 1483 because we're in a different studio here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network in New York City. I want to say hello to all my viewers who are watching the show the first week of March on the BCAT channel in Brooklyn, New York. BK all day and all night too. I don't forget about you. You guys are always on time when you watch Astrology Numerology Now in Brooklyn. That's 6 p.m. on the Optimum channel from 6 to 6:30. And the following morning in Brooklyn, if you missed anything, you can watch it at 8 a.m. Thanks, Brooklyn, for the love. Now, some of the things that we have coming up for the month of March. And that very first week of March, there's a lot of activity going on in the astrological heavens. For my viewers of the show who constantly watch the show or religiously watch the show every week, I said in January that from January to about March 6th, there are no retrogrades. There are no retrogrades. We haven't had one retrograde, but we're getting ready to have a Mercury retrograde. So I know I'm jumping a little bit, Dietra, but we're beginning to have a Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is coming up in beginning on March the 5th. Do we have that graphic control room? I guess we don't have our graphics or anything like that. But Mercury retrograde is on the horizon, everybody. And as I just finished saying, that from the beginning of this year, almost 2 months, 60 days, no retrogrades. Not from Mercury all the way to Pluto. But now it's time to make some adjustments with the upcoming Mercury retrograde. And it's going to be in the sign of Pisces. See, Mercury Mercury is in the sign of Pisces. Mercury has been in the sign of Pisces since February 10th. So a little more than 2 weeks now, Mercury's been in Pisces. If you're a Pisces, there's a lot of thinking, thoughts, or wherever Pisces is in your astrology chart. Plan, think. It's a cosmic timeout to figure out, hey, what's my next move going to be in life? Wherever Pisces is in your chart. It could be in the 10th house. If you're a Gemini, this Mercury retrograde is going to be at the very top of your chart, affecting your career. Let's say if you're a Sagittarius, this is going to affect your 4th house with family, relationships, end of life circumstances, and all that kind of stuff. If you're a Virgo rising, hey, we finally got the graphic. Mercury is in retrograde in the sign of Pisces from March 5th to March 29th. And as I said before, Mercury is going to be in Pisces all the way until April, all the way to up until April. So wherever Pisces is, it could be in your 1st house, 2nd house. If you're an Aquarius, for most Aquarians, this retrograde is going to be in your 2nd house, your house of money, material possessions. Hold on, hang on to those things with the Mercury retrograde. If you're a Virgo, this Mercury retrograde is going to be in your 7th house, affecting your relationships and your business affairs, because that's what the 7th house rules. So we all have to be mindful of the upcoming Mercury retrograde. Remember the dues, and it starts a week from today, almost a week from today, on March the 5th, our first retrograde of 2017. So get ready, everybody. And again, the rules of thumb on a Mercury retrograde is we don't start anything new. It's a cosmic timeout. Actually, when Mercury is in retrograde, it is a 4-week period, or it's like an 8-week period, because we have the shadow stage. That's when Mercury begins to slow down and starts moving a little bit slow, and the shadow phase began on February 19th. Now, the actual retrograde of Mercury, that happens from March the 5th, March the 5th to March 29th. And this is going to affect a lot of Pisces people, because on the day of the retrograde begins is at 29 degrees of Pisces for you seasonal astrologers. And just before it's about to enter into the sign of Aries, it's like, hold up, wait a minute, let's go back and take care of some Pisces business. It's going to retrograde all the way down to about 15 or 16 degrees of Pisces. So it's a lot of recognition or reckoning that Pisces people have to deal with. This retrograde is very important to everyone out there. There's a lot of things that's getting ready to come to the surface during or when Mercury is in retrograde. A lot of secrets, a lot of mysteries, a lot of things that will be revealed to us. Know where Mercury is retrograde in your chart. You can give me a call right now. 212-757-1483 to talk astrology, to talk numerology also, because the name of the show is Astrology Numerology Now, with astrologer, numerologist Z Starman. Brooklyn, get ready for the retrograde. Manhattan, get ready for the retrograde. If you're living in Florida or Chicago or St. Louis or Hollywood, California, or Sydney, Australia, get ready for Mercury retrograde. The entire planet is influenced by Mercury retrograde. And again, if you want to know what Mercury retrograde is about or how it will affect you and yours, give me a call right now, 212-757-1483, 212-757-1483 is the number to call. I've been on this network for 11 years, and a lot of you, and I thank everybody who's watched the show from around the country and other parts of the world. Thank you for your love and support. I'm just here to do my thing as a light worker, as an empath, to share the knowledge and the information and to help people out. I don't make money doing this. I don't make millions of dollars or anything like that. It's my labor of love to you, the viewers. I don't care if you're Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius. This is my life purpose work. I don't know how long I'm going to be here on Manhattan Neighborhood Network or in Brooklyn or anywhere else around the world, but get to know me. Let me help you. Let me share my vast knowledge and wealth of astrology and numerology information with you again. Now, again, I'm going to stay on it because Mercury retrograde is coming. This is going to be a crazy, wild, and sort of kind of weird retrograde because it's in the sign of Pisces. And Mercury is in its detriment, or meaning it doesn't work well in the sign of Pisces. Mercury co-rules both Gemini and Virgo, but when it's at its opposite sign, which Mercury will be in the sign of Pisces, it really starts to act crazy and misbehave. A lot of things get misunderstood. A lot of things get lost in translation when Mercury is in the sign of Pisces. 212-757-1483. I know y'all watching me. Pick up the phone. What are you waiting for? Live New York City audience, pick up the phone. 212-757-1393. Let's talk astrology. Let's talk numerology. Up next is that, what do we got on the next? Oh yeah, I got to tell y'all about this. Now, there are some planets that are starting to make generational moves. And the outer planets like Pluto, like Neptune, and like now Uranus is about to enter the sign of Taurus. Uranus is going to enter the sign of Taurus. Well, actually, Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus. Uranus has been in the sign, it was in the sign of Taurus from May 15, 2018 to November 6th. That was like a little preview. Now, on November 6th, Uranus made its retrograde back into the sign of Aries. And now on March 6th, the day after the Mercury retrograde begins, here right behind it is Uranus's entrance into the sign of Taurus. And Uranus stays in a sign for about 7 years. Uranus is the planet of erratic changes. It's the planet of unpredictability. And this unpredictable planet starting in November of last year, it made its entrance into the sign of Taurus for the first time in 84 years. See, Uranus stays in the sign for about 7 years, and it takes Uranus 84 years. There's 12 signs of the zodiac. 7 times 12 is 84. So over the last couple of months, we've experienced Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Now, starting on March 6th, let's show them the graphic again, control room. Starting on March 6th, Uranus is about to come back into the sign of Taurus from March 6, 2019 to July 7, 2025. It's going to be in the sign of Gemini. It's going to be in the sign of Gemini between July 7th and 2025 to November 7th to 25. And then it's going to come back to end out its season in Taurus. But this is a significant period for a lot of Taurus people coming up. And all the fixed signs, like Scorpio, because a lot of people who were born in the 1970s, they had Uranus in the sign of Scorpio. So Uranus is now opposite your Uranus or Uranus. And now it's really time for those 70s born people to take advantage, to really, now the universe is going to ask you to step up to the plate and to take or to take leadership, or to show us, hey, you've been around here for 42 years, what do you have? So a lot of people born in the 1970s, this is a very critical period for you for the next 7 years, but also for Taurus people. Definitely for Taurus people, Uranus, if you look at Uranus, Uranus orbits the Earth on it, or orbits the zodiac on its side. So Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius, and if anybody knows any Aquarians, or if you have Aquarius rising sign, you know their thing is erratic and different and being eccentric. So a lot of things are getting ready to take place in the sign of Taurus when it comes to money, because that's what Taurus rules. It co-rules Venus, or Venus is its ruler. And when it comes to material possessions, we're going into all these crazy currencies now, like cryptocurrency. There won't be any paper money per se to spend or being kept track of. The universe is about to make a correction with Uranus and Taurus. So I say, before 2020, look for another recession to happen. It's inevitable with Uranus being in the sign of Taurus. What we see, I used to work in the stock market. So there's going to be what's known as a correction when it comes to what the real value and what the real worth of our material possessions and the things that we own. So get ready for Uranus in the sign of Taurus from, let's throw it back up there again, please, from March 6, 2019 to July 7, 2025. It's going to go into Gemini. So this is a long period. This is a long period that we have to get ready for with Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Are you ready? If you want to know how Uranus and Taurus will affect you, give me a call. 212-757-1393 is the number to call. I guess they want me looking at this camera. 212-757-1393 is the number to call. Now, I'm going to respond to an email that I got last week, and the email was very critical of my astrology skills and information. And I'm going to answer that email. If you think you can do what I can do every week for the last 11 years and do it better, go right ahead. What I do is give Z Starman, Zaki Z Starman brand of astrology and numerology. Astrology is like this to me, and numerology is like this to me. I've been at this for 40 years, so I've seen at least a Saturn return in astrology. I've seen at least 3 Jupiter returns in astrology, and at least a half of Uranus in the sign of astrology. I don't have a teleprompter sitting in front of me to read stuff. No, I'm coming from my intuitive self. I'm coming from my spiritual self. I'm coming from looking at 40 years of Mercury retrogrades. So let's say if Mercury retrograde 3 times a year, 40 years, that's 120 retrogrades that I've seen in my lifetime as an astrologer. I've seen dozens of eclipses. So in answer to what you know who I'm talking to about my style, my brand of astrology, hey, let's see your brand. Let's see your astrology. I have over 1,000 astrology recordings from my clients who will testify for me in a heartbeat of my astrology ability. So get your own show and keep watching Astrology Numerology Now. We have a couple of minutes left in the show. Let's find this. The new moon in the sign of Pisces. The new moon in the sign of Pisces is going to be next week. I don't know if we have that, but the new moon in Pisces, I think the date is wrong on that, but you can change it to February 6th also. So check this out, everybody. We got the new moon in Pisces. We got Mercury retrograde in Pisces. and the new moon. The new moon is when the sun and the moon come together at the same time. So it's a lot of things that are coming to that will reveal to the circle about this Mueller investigation. I can't wait because it's due out during when we're in Pisces season. All these strange things will be revealed to us. And we have to remember, watch out for that. The moon is in the sign of Pisces. And also on March 6th, that's today, the new moon, when the sun and the moon are in the same sign at the same time, it's in the sign of Pisces. It's time to start planning and implementing your ideals and wishes, and come from a spiritual point of view when you do. And last but not least, on March 6th also, the sun is going to make a conjunction in the sign of Pisces to Neptune. So a lot of spiritual mysticism and a lot of things that everyone has to rely on their intuition and God-given ability. That's about all the time we have for astrology, numerology. Now you can come back to me, guys, in the control room. That's about all the time we have for astrology, numerology now. I want to thank my control room. We're in a different studio today, so there's a lot of technical difficulties. Thank you, Dietra. Thank you, Josie-Ann. Thank you, Stanley. And thank you, the viewers, for allowing me to come into your living rooms, bedrooms, and onto your devices. This is Z Starman saying peace, love, light, namaste.
Constantly striving to escape from reality into the blessed land.